Hey YouTube, welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video. Today I'm excited to bring you our first gun guide for patch 12.12. We're jumping straight into what I consider to be a pound for pound top 5 weapon in the game right now. Today we will be covering the 7.62x39 AKMN. For a number of wipes now, the 7.62x39 has been dominated by guns like the AK103 and last wipe the MK47 Mutant, but a couple of new attachments introduced in 12.12 has launched the AKMN to the top of the caliber. I've made a few changes to our gun guide format, hopefully providing more value for your time spent watching the video. Here's a quick summary of what we'll be covering in today's video. The basics of the gun and its ammo, budget, mid-tier and meta lowest recoil builds, some recoil comparison, and comparison to the MK47 Mutant. The AKM can be purchased from Prepper at level 3 for 48k. Also you can buy a stripped down version from Mechanic at level 3 for 38k. It comes with a base recoil of 113 and ergonomics of 41. 113 vertical recoil is almost impossible to control, so I have a total of 5 builds for you today from budget to meta. First up, let's look at why the 7.62x39 is such a strong round in Tarkov. Here you'll see all of the ammo stats for the 7.62x39 round in the game. The only two that are really worth your time here are the PS and the BP rounds. Although the 7.45M1 and US rounds are similar to the PS, there is just no real reason to buy them. PS can be purchased from the very start of the game from Prepper level 1 for 91 rubles and is one of the strongest early wipe rounds in the game, as it will usually 2-shot level 3 armor and below. It still does have enough power to 3 to 4-shot level 4 armor, so it can take you right through to mid game, at which point you should be looking at the BP round. We can dismiss HP as other calibers do leg meta much better than this, and although there is an AP round which is very strong, it is only available as a world drop and seems nearly impossible to get currently. BP ammo is available from Prepper level 3, which is character level 26, after you've completed the Punisher Part 5 task. At 1161 rubles per round, this is quite expensive, so initially I'd recommend you top load your mags with this, and then when you reach level 30, you can unlock Workbench level 3 in the hideout and craft 120 for approximately 92k, which means it costs 766 rubles per round. BP usually 2 shots level 4 armor and below, and can 2 to 4 shot level 5 armor, so will still be a top tier ammo even late game. Our first build is our budget recommendation. You will need to have level 3 traders for this build, but after this I'll show you a level 2 trader option as well. For this we will need to add the AK CSS charging handle from skill level 2, the Academia Bastion dust cover from skill level 1, the MAGPUL MOE handguard, which is the FDE version from Peacekeeper level 2, a GP25 recoil pad to add to the stock from Prepper level 2, the MAGPUL M-Lock 4.1 inch rail from Mechanic level 2, a MAGPUL RVG foregrip from Peacekeeper level 3, the Palm Pistol grip from Peacekeeper level 3, and finally we'll upgrade to the Venom Antidote Compensator from Skier level 3. Let's jump over to the range to test the build. These first two tests are going to be with 0 recoil control. Even at mid-range you will see a pretty big initial jump, but then it will settle to a reasonable spread. However, at the longer ranges, we can't even hit the target. Like most full auto assault rifles, tap firing at this range is the way to go, with solid performance. Finally, let's apply some recoil control to both targets. Here you will see as we control the initial jump, we can keep the target on the 4-ax with quite good effect. Again, at the longer range this is very hard to control, so a tap fire is recommended. This gives us a final vertical recoil of 75, which is a massive reduction from the base stats. It also increases the ergonomics to 65, all for a total of 109k, which I think is a really strong mid-game budget build. Because you can buy the AKMN from the flea market earlier than level 3 traders for around 50k, we can make a couple of changes to run this with just level 2 traders unlocked. First we will need to swap to the Dynacomp 7.62x39 compensator from Mechanic level 2, change the foregrip to the ZENIT RK4 from Skier level 2, and finally the pistol grip to the Tapco Saw from Peacekeeper level 2. Although the final stats of 86 recoil and 60 ergonomics aren't up to the standards of our level 3 build, at only 101k total cost, this is an option for you to try out earlier in your progression. Next we have a very strong mid-tier build. It will need level 4 traders to be unlocked, but again I will give you a level 3 trader option mid-tier build also. This will use the same basic changes we applied to the budget build, but we will swap out the stock to the Zukov S stock from Peacekeeper level 4, the foregrip to the MAGPUL AFG Tactical from Skier level 3, and the compensator to the LANTACT BMG A3 thread adapter with the LANTACT blast mitigation device both from Peacekeeper level 3, and finally the LANTACT Dragon 762x51 compensator from Peacekeeper level 4. Jumping to the range again, our first two tests are again with zero recoil control applied. You'll notice a much lower initial kick here and a tighter overall spread. At the longer range we're at least hitting the target this time, but again I'd recommend a tap fire approach at this range. You will notice however that there is less bounce, allowing for a faster tap speed while maintaining the accuracy. Finally we'll test both targets again with recoil controlled. This is somewhat manageable at the longer range, but feels very controllable at the mid range, allowing the ability to target the head much better. This build comes out at 56 vertical recoil and 70 ergonomics at a cost of 153k rubles. That's a very nice increase to the stats for an extra 44k spent and makes this a real contender for the best 150k gun in the game. The only slight downside to this you may have noticed is the extra muzzle flash the B&D combo gives off, which might not suit all players. An optional level 3 trader build here would see us return to the standard stock with the butt pad and replace the muzzle with the KIBA Arms 308 muzzle adapter from mechanic level 3, with the QDC 762 muzzle brake kit from mechanic level 3, and finally the KAC PRC QDC 762x51 suppressor from Peacekeeper level 3. The final recoil on this is slightly higher at 58, but we do get the benefit of a silenced weapon for only 13k more at 166k. We do lose a chunk of ergo here, but 42 is still decent for the price. Our final meta builds are the lowest recoil option and a balanced version I choose to run. For the ultimate low recoil, we will take the changes we made to the mid-tier silence build, but we'll swap out the handguard to the AK Troy gas tube combo from mechanic level 4. We'll need to add the Troy Car's 4.2 inch rail from mechanic level 4 to allow us to swap to a ZENIT RK2 foregrip from skier level 4. And finally we can swap out the pistol grip to the Custom Arms AGS 74 Pro from skier level 4. I've left a couple of minutes of gameplay in the end of the video showing you the low recoil build in labs to get you a better look of it in action, but for now let's jump back into the range. I think straight away we can see that even with no recoil, this build has a much tighter spread at the longer range. And when I apply some recoil, we're seeing a very accurate build, which honestly feels more like an SMG in terms of recoil. The end result of this is a final build of 46 recoil and 39 ergonomics for a total cost of 211k. Although an ergonomics of 39 feels okay, as you will see in the gameplay, I prefer to give up a little recoil for a decent jump in ergonomics and a 27k price saving. For this alternative balance build, I would just replace the foregrip with the MAGPUL RVG from Peacekeeper level 3 and the pistol grip with the AEROKNOX SCORPIUS from mechanic level 4. This brings the recoil up 4 points to 50, but gives us 13 extra ergo points, leaving us at a very nice 52 ergo. The cost comes down to 184k total, and honestly in my eyes this is a beast of a gun, this wipe. It is very versatile, feels nice and snappy, and hits really hard with the BP ammo, all for a really reasonable outlay. Whilst we compare the recoil of the builds, I just wanted to say if you do like these gun guides, then I'd really appreciate it if you can make some noise in the comments. I would love to do more of these, so let me know what gun you would like to see next. Will you be giving the AKMN a try after seeing this video? I'll be all over the comments, so see you there. Finally, I'm aware I made a bold statement on the thumbnail that this gun is better than the MK47 Mutant, so let's show you why. Back when the Mutant was added in 12.11, this was the lowest recoil build. It came out at only 38 recoil whilst maintaining a 44.5 ergonomics and a cost of 250k with a barter. It was literally broken. Skip forward 6 months and 3 nerfs, and here is the build now with a vertical recoil of 49, an ergonomics of 20, and at a cost of 300k. If we compare this with the 46 recoil and 39 ergonomics of the AKMN, all for 100k less, I hope you'll see why I believe this is better now. The Mutant is still very viable, but you're almost forced to use a shorter barrel or replace the grip and stock with more ergo-friendly alternatives, both of which of course increase the recoil. I hope I have at least convinced you to give the AKM a closer look. I've put images for all of these builds up on our Discord channel, so if you want to grab them, there's a link down in the description. Here's a couple of minutes of meta gameplay to see this video out.
There they are! Enemy frag! Fuck! Enemy frag! Enemy. Problem? What the fuck? Fuck.